chosen by destiny.
But in the end,
There can be only one.
Welcome, everybody. 3 comic campaigns enter, 1 campaign leaves. That's right. It's time once again to put indie comics through the gauntlet, heartbreak, and maybe, hopefully, a few lessons learned. Welcome to the comic book showdown of Ultimate Destiny. What? Wait. Smurf isn't here, so what am I gonna do? Smurf's over at New York Comic Con this weekend, the big show. So, what am I gonna do? Well, I have a special co-host for you, which you might have seen if you saw the thumbnail. My next guest once told me, I didn't choose comics chose me. And trust me, I think comics made a smart choice. He has created books. He has run campaigns, multiple campaigns. He's a family man. He travels across countries, and he still has time to inspire us with his amazing art. I don't know how he does it. Please welcome, everybody, Gerald Von Stoddard.
What's up, man?
How you doing, Gerald?
I'm good. You know, boxing comics, drawing comics. Got a new campaign coming. It's nonstop.
Yeah. This guy is busy. He was just sharing with me some of all the major things he's got to do, and it's impressive that you can do all that, plus be traveling back and forth. That's why you look so tired, isn't it?
Now I'm just offended.
Now you're just offended. And now we also have Sam with us. Of course, once the show starts, he has to show up. I think he loves the camera. So, welcome to episode 67 of the Comic Book Showdown. Tell us a little bit about what you do have coming, and also, what's your most recent thing. I have a link for people here to show. Let's see here. For your new book, here is a fancy little QR code for everybody. So you can go up there and click on that, and that'll take you to your sign up for your new project. You have 210 pre-signups right now. Tell us a little bit about what that's about.
Okay, yeah. Love and Death on the Dark Side of the Moon. And if anybody has been paying attention, what's up, John? Everybody's paying attention. You know, I have a partner in Comics Crime, Frank Martin, and so if anything by me comes out, just assume Frank is equally involved. So we sort of handle the sort of foundation. Frank takes my madness into a script, and then I draw it, and then we just started fulfilling together. This was a story that I started, when I used to own a comic shop many moons ago. And it is a sort of a sci-fi tragic fairy tale without a happy ending.
Sci-fi tragedy without a happy ending. I mean, that's what we all read comics for, right there.
It's a love story. Not so much like just romantic love. It's a very character-driven. It's a very character-driven book. It's an OGN, so we're up to 100 pages without some cool graphics, timelines. We're kind of going to put some stuff in the book that adds to the lore, adds to the story, but actual pages that I'm drawing, we're about 100 right now, and we're also going to be launching at the same time as a web series. So backers will be able to get that series every month until the book arrives.
Nice.
So
Benjamin's Benjamin says, I feel like I've read something he's drawn. I'm sure. He's done a lot. Immortal Coil is a big one. It's a bit.
Yeah,
an
we
awesome.
just did. Yeah, I'm fulfilling that at the end of the month. Immortal Coil Volume 1. Finally getting 1,000 cuts to everybody all over the world. Did all the internationals today. We had some delays. It happens when you do Kickstarter. We do our best, and I stress out, and I shouldn't stress out, because look, we have all heard horror stories. We've all, if not happened to ourselves, heard of Kickstarter campaigns that never fulfill.
Yes.
This wasn't one of them, and I've done my best to communicate, send constant updates, own it, and it's hard. It's hard when I don't live in the United States full time, so I only have a certain window of time.
Yeah. I don't know how you do that. Like, do you get any work done while you're in Italy?
Yeah, well, while I'm in Italy, that's all drawing time. That's all I do.
Nice.
Just I don't do anything else. I mean, I answer emails and I have meetings and stuff like that, but it's primarily drawing. I mean, I'm drawing now too, but when I'm in the States, I tend to do more covers and fulfill Kickstarters.
Right.
So, and then I had an art book that had a delay too, but that's all coming out of the month. I got 3 Kickstarters all going out right now until the very beginning of November.
Isn't that crazy how that happens? You spread them out, and then all of a sudden they end up hitting at the same time. I also got to say, like, your art book inspired me to get off my ass and start putting together my art book. A new art book, I should say. I haven't done one in a minute, and I was like, I have got so much content to put together, and so I'm going to try to put together an art book. And next thing I know, it's like the pages are just filling and filling and filling in the InDesign document.
I don't know about you, but when I was putting mine together, I mean, I had hundreds and hundreds of things to put in there, and it's I had to whittle it down to like 86 because I wanted to keep it under a certain amount because it's hardcover and it's 8.5 by 11, and that can get pricey to print the more pages you have in it. And I didn't want to make it so pricey for backers that it would.
Well, and then you got to at some point when you have that many pieces of art, it's like, do I theme this to be like, all dark monstrous stuff or pinup stuff, or like, what do I go with? I think, and I don't know what you think about this, because I do want to do some hardbacks. I want to look in to see if someone has like a spot foil for the wording on a hardback. But I'm thinking about doing like a 2 different versions, like a sweet and a spicy cover, because I've done a lot of art that I don't want people to just stumble across. I want them to know, okay, I got the spicy book.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't want to just mix it all together.
That's a great point, because I kept all the spicy stuff out of it. Because this didn't make sense, because it's not my forte. I've only done a handful of commissions, and so I just left those out, and I was like, well, for another time.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to just surprise people with it. So that's what I'm thinking about doing, is like in the same campaign having both books available.
Well, I know that, and I know you've probably done a lot more of that type of work, the spicy MSFW type stuff, than I have. So it would make sense that for you to have those 2 versions for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that works out. I hope that's a good way to do it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. All right. So, man, I want to give a shout out to a couple people. Congratulations to The Routine, our winner from last week's show. Also want to give a shout out to our troll from last week, because that ended up boosting views, and we also got an enormous boost in signups for this week. Look at this wheel.
Oh my! Oh my!
So yeah, this is the people that have signed up to be on the show this week. So thank you for all those submissions. I'm going to try to go down this list really quickly. We've got Ice and Bone. What's that?
Yeah, I know some of these.
Yeah. There's a lot of them that we know. A lot of fellow creators. I love how the indie comic community kind of all knows each other and we help each other out. And so you see a lot of returning names here. We've got Ice and Bone, Icelander and Plasma, Storage Horrors, Macabre Valley, Ultramax Volume 1 and 2, Old Devils, Laugh Riot, Los Ojos, Cocaine Stripper Stronghold, which has been on this show before, The Heartless Bastards, Model UN, Thrill Comics Double Feature, The Sentinels, Inc. Volume 1, Treasure of the Mystic Hearts, Thelby Jack, and lastly, In Our Dreams Awake. Whew, that was a big list. And so thank you guys all for submitting to the Wheel of Destiny. Are we ready to get into it? Are you ready?
Spin it.
Let's fucking go!
There can be only one Highlander type situation. Behold, my wheel of
Destiny!
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
Time to spin the wheel.
Time to spin the wheel. All right, let's go with our first spin of the show. Let's see who's going to be our first one here.
Oh boy. Oh, look at this guy.
I know. He's all like,
So cute.
looks like it's going to be Real Comics Double Feature. All right, let's pull that up over here on the other tab. There it is. We'll move that over here. And then we will come over here and share this tab. Let's see, where's that? There it is. All right, there we have it. Thrill Comics Double Feature. 2 new books from Thrill, Memphis versus Zombies #2, and the Supernatural Anthology Blues, Lore and Legends #1. So 2 different books, funded in 24 hours. Looks like, let's go here.
It's always a good feel.
Yeah, it always feels good when you fund very quickly. They are at their $2,500 goal, and they've currently raised $3,059, but they've got 21 days to go. So, yeah, a lot of time to get a lot more funding and a lot more backers. When it comes to indie comics, I always feel like, yes, you want to raise the money so that you can get money to support the next projects if you get extra, and that's always great. But to me, I feel like almost sometimes the number of backers is just as important or more important, because your whole goal is to get people to see the thing that you've made,
Well, and it's not just that. I mean, the more backers you have, the more people that you have sort of in your comics creating universe for your next project that otherwise you'd have to work twice as hard to find them. So those backers are now, when your next campaign is loaded, they're going to get a message like, hey, back another project, Thrill Comics.
Yeah. Ever expanding your base and your fandom. So that's what we want to see here. I'd love to see him get some more backers, some more numbers there. All right. So we don't have a video. So we're going to scroll down to, and as we've said before, you don't need a video to be successful, but statistically, if you take the campaigns that have had success, they tend to have some sort of video.
Well, it's funny because I can already kind of feel a vibe, and I feel like this would have worked really well with a video. It has like a cool vibe for a video. I can already see some of the art. I was like, oh, more disappointed. Not like wrong. I wanted to see a video of the zombies and whatnot.
Yeah, that is a crazy per backer amount. I've seen this before, Matt Knowles, like where you have a really low backer number, but backer count, but then you have high dollar raised. I actually recently saw this with some other things. So that can be one of two things. Either A, you've got somebody there who's really dropping a lot, and then they support you a lot, and they're like, hey, here's $1,000, here's $2,000, something like that. Or another thing that can happen sometimes to raise those dollar amounts is that inside the reward system, once you get in there, they just have this huge plethora of add-ons, and people are jumping in and getting a lot of add-ons and building up their levels. Give me 1 second. I've now got 2 cats on the desk here. I can't even
because
push buttons anymore.
As it stands, it's just a little less than $100 per backer. If you just
which is crazy. All right, so it says under the story section, welcome, thrill seekers. We're proud to bring you Memphis vs. Zombies #2 and the debut issue of Blues, Lore and Legends. These books continue our mission to celebrate the soul of Memphis and thrill comics through exciting stories, unforgettable characters, and bold comic book storytelling. Whether you're returning for the first campaign or joining us for the first time, you're in for something special. This Kickstarter features 2 unique titles: the next chapter of Memphis vs. Zombies, our flagship horror comedy series, and the launch of Blues, Lore, and Legends, a haunting anthology rooted in myths, music, and ghosts of the Delta. Back one or both. We've got rewards, variant covers, and stretch goals you won't want to miss. All right, we're going to stop there and pause. What's your feeling? What's your takeaway as a consumer at this point so far?
Me?
Yeah, you. No, my cat. Sam, what do you think so far?
I mean, I like the banner, so I would be piqued by that. I'm not, I mean, that's fine. Nothing wrong with what it's opening with, but we've talked about it a lot. It's something I think about a lot. It could just be a little more about, let's just assume I have never seen this before, and I haven't. Sort of, a debut issue. There's a lot of fancy language in that first paragraph. Bold storytelling, sure, okay, but I haven't seen it yet, so maybe.
Right.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. The art looks cool. Horror comedy, filing the second paragraph. I feel like, all right. You got a horror comedy series and an anthology rooted in myth, music, and the ghosts of the Delta. All right, cool. I mean, right there, that's got me interested. I'm interested to know a little bit more.
So I think that this part here is good, but it's not, it's kind of like a little taste, and then I really still don't know anything yet. I want a little bit more, and I think that if we scroll down a little bit farther, it might be telling us. So right here it says Memphis 2 picks up right where issue 1 left off. Let's see if I can make that any bigger for you. No, it's about the same size. Memphis 2 picks up right where issue 1 left off, on the crumbling edge of the chaos. The outbreak spreads fast, and our unlikely team of heroes are just beginning to understand how deep this rabbit hole goes. Expect more undead Elvis impersonators. Wait, what? More grit and gore, and more BB the cat. All right, so now I know that there's an outbreak. Obviously, Memphis versus Zombies sort of like alludes to some sort of zombie outbreak. There's a team of heroes. I don't know anything about them or who they are or what they are trying to accomplish other than defeat the zombies, I guess. And they're just beginning to understand how deep this rabbit hole goes. That phrase right there, I don't understand. Like, what rabbit hole is involved with a zombie outbreak? And I feel like a little bit more maybe could help clarify, like, ooh, that sounds like a problem I don't know how they're going to solve. If you can find a way to have your audience go, oh man, how are they going to succeed at that? How are they going to get out of that situation? Then you have a really sweet pitch put together. I was intrigued by undead and Elvis impersonators, but
I am, but I feel like again, I never heard of this book. I didn't even know that. It seems like that's all great stuff. Move that up. That first paragraph is kind of more fluff language, and you could be like, hit those key points. Elvis impersonators, BB, a three-headed cat in
right.
the Delta, after an outbreak. And then, like you said, what's the stakes, which is obviously what they're saying, the rabbit hole, but it's just a fancy way of saying that's the stakes, but you're not saying what the stakes are.
Right.
Introduce me to this because I'm just looking at it for the first time.
All right. So the last little paragraph here says, follow Walter, Joe, and Riley as they attempt to understand what's happening. In this issue's backup story, you also meet new characters and catch a glimpse of what's coming up. If you love humor, heart, and undead chaos of the issue number 1, you'll be all in for this one. So, a little tip that I give my students sometimes is try to describe your characters without using their names. So, like Walter, Joe, and Riley. Riley is a name that can be used for a male or female. So I don't know, like anything about these characters. So if you said, a drunk fireman, or an alcoholic fireman, and a retired city police cop, and a single mother are trying to understand what's happening. Well, now I have some context of who they are. I can have some relatability to them. I can't just relate to a name like Walter or Joe. Like, that doesn't mean anything.
Well, I think, again, this whole paragraph is assuming you read issue 1. That's it, plain and simple. And I haven't.
Right.
I don't know them. I don't know what it says. What did it say in that paragraph?
It said,
Walter,
Joe,
if you loved the humor, heart, and undead chaos of issue 1, you'll be in for a treat. Well, I didn't see it.
I haven't.
And that's something that I learned after my first campaign. My second campaign was I didn't make enough introduction to this universe, because I think one of the things with Kickstarter is hopefully, and that's our hope, is that we're growing our readership, we're growing our viewer base. So you want more new people to keep coming in and not just cater to the ones that backed the first one.
Right.
Because that doesn't make any sense. That's just an echo chamber and people get tired. You got to bring in new people, expand, the reach of the book. And if it, and it's like, hey, if it was chaotic and fun and Elvis impersonators, give me a welcome. Give me a welcome gift bag,
Yeah. One of the things we've said on this show several times is build your campaign as if, whether it's issue 2 or issue 10, as if you're reaching out to a brand new audience every time. Would you agree with that sentiment?
I 100% agree. I think when you're building, it doesn't matter if I think it's your first or your 30th. You don't know who is new, and let's assume that it could be half, it could be more, it could be 20%. It doesn't matter. I think you could lose potential. It's not about the money; it's about the potential reach. Because I think we all want our books to be read by more people. So I think that we have an opportunity on Kickstarter to be more, hey, welcome to this universe. Let's catch you up.
Yep.
Really, and it can be a paragraph, a couple of panels. Good. I gotta take, and I think if we do that more, potential.
Well, and I don't want to spend too much time on this one because this is just one of the 2 comics in this campaign. But the other thing about, if you build your campaign every time for the new audience, your returning audience they don't really need a whole lot of information. They're like, I'm in. I liked this book last time. It doesn't really take a lot to convince them to get a new book. You know, they either
Not at all.
continue to like it or they hated it and they're not coming back. There's not a lot of in between.
I mean, I look at, if I'm backing a book again, I'm a repeat backer. I look at the art and what's maybe some of the covers, and that's kind of it. I don't even read the whole campaign. I hit back. That's it. I'm done.
Right. All right, so let's give this a quick glance before we move on. This is the other book in this campaign, and this is in issue 1. So this one should tell us pretty clearly like what we're getting with this. It says, hosted by our very own skeletal mascot, Crestwood Blues, Lore and Legends is where Southern Gothic meets comic book storytelling. This anthology series blends real-life music history and Delta locales with ghost stories, tall tales, and mythic figures who spread around the South. If Tales from the Crypt made a deal with the devil at the crossroads, it would have birthed this book. It features 3 eerie, thrilling, emotional, and unforgettable stories. Have you ever wondered why B.B. King named his guitar Lucille? What happens when ancient spirits chose a wrestler as mankind's new protector? You're about to find out. So those are a lot better as far as like hook type of information. I think they work well. So then we have a look at the inside. We got story and art by Ryan Ladner. I like that textury style he's got here. Little spots of red. This has got a Sinners vibe right here. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah. It does. Absolutely.
And then we have this wrestling one, The Last Fall of Tommy Hawk by the same writer, I think. Ryan Ladner, yes. Same writer, but this time artist by Eric McMeans. That looks fun. That's like Ninja Turtle-esque kind of creature or something. And then although that one looks very different than, I don't know if that top one is a cover or what, but it looks very different style than what I'm seeing here. Maybe this is the third story. I don't know. I didn't label it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
All right. So that's the information that we have. And then down below, we have a lot of like rewards, bonus rewards, meet the creators, that kind of stuff. They are using the jump points on the left, which is nice. Let's look at the pledge rewards real quick. Their featured one is signed copies of both books for $32 plus the PDF. The digital copy of this new issue is $5. Digital copy. So there's digital copy of Memphis versus Zombies #1, $5. And then digital copy of Blues, Lore, and Legends #1, $5. The digital bundle, you get 1 and 2. No, you get 2.
One thing
I'm confused.
I wanted to say really quick, because I had been wondering if the rewards would answer this. And it was a question in my mind from the moment we got into this, whether they were 2 separate issues put into a collection or completely 2 different books.
It looks like 2 separate books that you can buy separately.
Only because the double feature, I wondered for a second. So that's something that could have been just illuminated more in the beginning, like how many pages. These are 2 separate books. Just tiny bit of more clarity. Because first, I kind of thought, double feature. Maybe this is like it's like a big kind of comic or magazine size. Is it a regular comic size? I didn't know any of that. I'm not saying that's wrong, but it is helpful to know if I'm just coming to this for the first time.
No, you need to be very clear about, I think every single campaign should tell you exactly how many pages you're getting. It's like, buying a product, you want to know exactly what you're getting. So, I mean, because I've said this before, I've known somebody that has run a campaign who only had 8 finished pages. It was like a teaser book, and the rest was filled in with, ads and stuff. And I'd want to know that. I'm not going to pay full price for 8 pages of content, you know? So this one says at the top that it was 2 unique titles, but it doesn't really specify that they're both individual books, or I've never found anywhere yet, although I didn't scroll all the way through it, if it says anywhere how many pages either one of these books are. One could be, 24 pages. The other one could be 48. I don't know.
Or 8.
Or 8. So you can get the PDF of issue 1 of Memphis versus Zombies, or issue 1 of Blues, Lore, and Legends, or you can get the Thrills and Chills digital bundle, which is Marvel versus Zombies 2, or Memphis versus Zombies 2, and the Blues, Lore, and Legends. But what I don't see yet is a package that says here's issue 1 and issue 2 of Memphis versus Zombies.
Well, it didn't say in the description?
It says this one here is the Marvel, or I still keep saying Marvel, Memphis versus Zombies number 2, cover A, B, or C, and a digital copy. That means you're still just getting issue 2.
That free shipping in the U.S. and Canada, and that pledge is only $15. That's printed book.
Yes, that's what that's saying.
Okay, I just want anybody who's doing a new I just did my international package just today. Right now, you cannot send a comic to Canada through the United States Postal Service. Your next best option is the UPS, and I can tell you it was $25 for one book.
Oh,
shipping.
I mean, that's generally
that's
what
not the book. That's not the cost of the book. That's not the cost of the Gemini mailer, the bag and board,
right?
Stretch gold print that went inside. I mean, hey, if you're somehow managing over 3,000 and only 34 backers, you're doing something right. But that I just saw that for a second. I was like, free shipping to Canada. Holy cow.
Yeah, I don't know. Now it does say up above that this is only their second campaign, so maybe they weren't aware of that. But yeah, my last campaign, when I was sending overseas to places in the UK, those books were costing $25 to $27 a piece through Postal Service, and it was a little bit cheaper to go to Canada.
No, right now
but now it's flopped. Yeah, that's because I think our administration hates Canada.
And you can't, and they're hoping by the holidays you can use the U.S. Postal Service to Canada. But right now, as of today, you cannot.
Oof, man, that is news right there, folks. And Gerald knows, man. He's on top of this stuff. And
I was just doing this today.
Okay, let's scroll down and see what they have on their larger tiers, and then I'll go back up because I'm curious how they're raising, all this money. So all the way at the bottom, we have a $900 package that has 2 backers to it. So they're right there. There's $1,800. And it says the Legendary Lucille package. Let me move this so you can read it. You get everything and more. 1 signed copy of each Memphis versus Zombies 2 and the Blues Lore Legends #1 variant cover, all the merch, a cameo appearance, and a custom illustration, plus a Muck Monster tank top, design in progress, a BB sticker, and a Crestwood Blues. That's a lot, and a throw blanket.
Wow.
That's a lot. I wonder what the shipping on that is, because you got a T-shirt,
anywhere, and it's also going out anywhere in the world. I mean, that's why it's $900.
I'm going to click on this and just see what shipping tells me. If it says United States, there we go. Oh, it doesn't show the pop-up. He's got $15 listed as every outside America shipping. Well, and United States is still free.
Everybody can do what they want. But if you can,
He's like, you can do what you want.
you can walk away and break even on this. Cool, you did something right. I could never imagine that myself. Now the other thing is that $900 is quite a lot of money. He's got 2 backers on it.
Well, you got to consider. I mean, you're getting 2 custom sketches. You're getting. Let me scroll back down to that. You're getting a cameo appearance. So you're getting drawn into the book, and you're getting a custom illustration. If I'm reading that right,
one illustration, but it doesn't say what size.
It does not say what size.
I know,
unless he says that somewhere down here.
I'll tell you one thing.
Let's
The
see.
fact that maybe it does say it there.
I'm looking down here. The Lucille package. It just says here custom illustration too. It doesn't say what size.
Yeah, the same. But I'm a little confused only because I don't see any of that stuff. But hey, he's got 2 backers on it. I don't know what the blanket sticker looks like. I don't know what the size of the sketch is.
So apparently, especially in these bigger tiers, maybe he's building his shipping into these larger tiers as a buffer, and that's why it's $900 or $500, because as I look through these, every single one is listed the same way. The United States shipping is free, and everything else international is $15, which means that he's undercharged already.
Well, I want to say one thing too. The Crestwood's Inner Circle. He does mention an 11x17 illustration. When you have a comic, if I'm shipping to anywhere in the world, United States, UK, Italy, Canada, there are ways to package them together. I do not personally, because when I send an illustration or original piece of art, I don't want anything in that package to get ruined. So I do ship them out separately. But remember that's 2 shipping costs, not one. You could get I could get 1 comic in there, but not a blanket and not a bunch of other stuff. It's going to get.
Well, not only that, you're talking about a much bigger package when you have an 11x17. You've got to go like 13x19, so it has padding around it. And
I use a thing called card brick mailers, and I put it in a plastic sleeve, and it's they're the Gemini mailers for 11x17 prints, not made by Gemini. They're built exactly the same.
That's what she said.
Hey, listen again. If this guy is doing it, cool. I hate to see him lose money on offering shipping. Right now is not a fun time. It's not a fun time.
It isn't.
If you're
I wish him the best. I hope that, I feel like he might have figured out something on the back end or something. I hope, but he's got 21 days to go to get more backers, more support. So if you like what this is all about, go check it out. So that brings us back to our Wheel of Destiny. Let's see. So let's see who the second entry this week is going to be.
Spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel. It's like our last entry of the week, In Our Dreams Awake. I have not heard of this one. Yeah. Let's see here. Sam, you're standing on the mouse.
Come on, Sam. The cats, they know when you're in the middle of something. They're like,
I swear, every time I get on this show, that's when he starts climbing all over the place. He's like, I want your attention.
In the house and they're like, whatever, hey.
Exactly. All right, let's share over here. Let's go here. We're back. All right. In Our Dreams Awake, number 3, a Dream Punk comic. Dream Punk. That's not a word I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
I'm writing. I forgot to write down the first one, so I'm doing that now. All right. Jason Byron lives in a world of magic and cyberpunk world. He lives in a world of magic and a cyberpunk world. Which one is a dream? Which one is a nightmare? Issues 1 through 3 are available. This says it's issue 3 of 4. I like how it's like scratched up there in the upper right. Like they forgot to add that. It is got a $500 goal. They've raised $219 with 14 backers. So the setting that you put at the baseline of a comic, like what your goal is, there's a lot of discussion about what that should be. And I'd love to hear your 2 cents on it, but I feel like if you have a campaign where you know you've got a strong backing, you're going to raise, a couple $1,000s or plus, maybe even more, then you can set a low goal and you can get that opportunity to be like, oh, we funded in 24 hours or 20 minutes, or, whatever. On the other hand, if you're a relatively new creator and you put a low backing and then it's really creeping to get there, the question comes to mind, what are you going to do with $500? Why is your campaign so low? Like, you can't make a comic for $500.
No, unless you were totally okay that you already made it out of pocket. You're fine with that. You just want to use Kickstarter as a way to get it out there because you don't have distribution or anything of those sorts. So it's kind of like almost like a lunar solicitation, not so much to make the comic or to pay your creative team. You're totally okay with doing that completely out of pocket. So that's what I assume with low goals is that the comic is made.
I assume that, yeah.
You're just throwing it up. You're okay with the loss. You're just throwing it up there. Because you're right. No way. You cannot make a comic for $500. We all know how much it costs to make. I'm lucky because I draw my own. So I save thousands of dollars.
Matt says the phrase "a dream and a nightmare" needs to be banned from all marketing.
Well, the only problem with that is dream and nightmare are kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I'm curious, Matt. What is it that strikes you about that one? So this one does have a video, so let's see what the video tells us.
Jason Byron, the painter, drawn home. Through his telescope, he sees love. In his sleep, a flood of nightmare images. Jason Byron, the gang lord in his drowned home. His enemies, the fish aliens. His love, a fish alien enemy. Which dream is true? Which dream lover is true? Laura or Bemelin? Jason Byron broke the law, and he will be punished. The telescope, the revelation of the crash ship, the torturous sanction. Jason Byron broke the law, and he will be rewarded. Fight the cats, fight the crabs, fight the law, fight for love.
Fight the crabs.
Of nightmares in our dreams awake. The 3rd issue in this 4-issue epic about love, hope, and dreams. Crowdfunding on Kickstarter.
All right, there it was. What is your takeaway, sir?
I only a third of the way in kind of understood these were 2 different worlds. The voices drove me bananas. I'm sorry. And listen, I don't know who the creator's name is, and I'm not trying to be a jerk, but
right.
It's really jarring. And they're not, and maybe the creator did them himself. And I understand the point was to use these different voices to represent 2 different worlds. But right. I think there was another way to do this. It was just too jarring, and words and things that I'm like, what is this? What was the name of that? I don't know.
I was very confused. Yeah,
it was super confusing, and it, just the editing and the voices. I would have liked to have just if you kept it simpler, if you're going to use dream and nightmare, you could be more, show the art, use text instead of the voice, and not a ton of it. You know, I think it would have done better, unless you had like a professional voiceover or someone who was really good at it, and you had like a script and you tried.
I mean, I want to give the guy credit for trying to do voices and trying to make it intriguing. I mean, instead of just like boring sitting there just reading it. I mean, he gave it his effort, but it was a little jarring.
It was not boring, but I don't walk away from that video knowing. Well, I kind of do, but I had to piece it together. I had to kind of like really use my head more than I wanted to.
There's too much thinking involved.
I'm like, wait a second, what's this? And it was only really, like I said, towards the third, and then I was always using these different voice inflections to represent two different worlds. Okay, I mean, okay, sure, but maybe just try to lower the voice a little bit or find another friend to do it. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I could see there was a lot of effort and say, you know, a for that, and there are pieces in it that are kind of cool. Overall, a little bit too much for my taste personally. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna check out the campaign or want to look at the book, you know.
Right. Okay. Well, like I said, I had the same thing. I kind of got the concept that there's two different kind of dream worlds going on. You got one character and he's got a love interest in both, and you know, one of them is a dream, one of them is a nightmare, which by the way, I want to show Matt's post on that. He says it's incredibly overused. Johnny had a dream to be a theme park worker, but his dream turned into a nightmare. Marketing newscasts everywhere. There's got to be a better and more creative choice. So, okay, if you've got this idea, like, you know, what I think that I'm trying to fit here is what's the primary hook here? You know, what's the thing that's going to get readers invested the most with this idea? Because the idea itself could be awesome. This show is all about how you're pitching your idea, not the idea itself.
And I don't think
so, like, what do you think?
I don't think you should set it up to make me only think about those two things. Why not leave a mystery? Why do I have to be told one is a dream? Well, like I said, a dream and a nightmare are the same thing. They're both dreams.
Right.
One scares the shit out of you, and one maybe just, you know, you're floating through 99 Luft balloons. I don't know. But I feel like you don't have to tell the reader what is real and what isn't. You could just show this character like kind of like this prairie, kind of like Wild West kind of looking thing, and then this more sci-fi futuristic thing. I don't think you have to spell it out. I don't think you have to spell it out that clear and tell me they're both dreams, which one is a nightmare.
Right.
I think you're selling yourself short.
Well, and considering that every story, unless it's sort of like a documentary type of story, is about a character or a group of characters trying to achieve something, and something stands in their way. This right here is telling me about the premise part of the hook. You know, is it dream? Is it dream? My like, if that's his whole goal is to figure out which one of these is real, maybe there's a stakes as to like why he needs to figure that out. You know, why is that important? You know, but I would also say that leading in with some of this artwork could be good too. This is the first panel we see. This is the cover. Yeah, great looking cover, great looking art, nice alien feel to it. So our trust in life is when we are in our dreams awake. Henry David Thoreau, the story. All right, I'm gonna speed read through this and see if it tells us anything more that we don't already know. In the sword and sorcery nightmare, the mages won. Jason is a prisoner, and his love's life hangs in the gulf between what the Magi demanded and what Jason can give. All right, I'm going to pause right there. It's not worded well enough to have all the information, but this has a lot of the parts we're looking for. There are mages who won. They won something. I don't know what they won, but they won. Jason, I guess that's our main character. I don't know. Jason Byron. That's right. They did mention that.
Yeah.
He is a prisoner, and now his love's life hangs in the gulf between what the Magi demand and what Jason can give. Now, I don't really know what that means. I think it needs to be worded a little more clearly, but those are our components of our story. You know, this is a love interest whose life hangs in the balance of something, you know? So that's his goal. He wants to save his love's life. And then in the next paragraph, it says, in the sci-fi nightmare, fish aliens and talking cats are drowning the world. Jason Byron and his love are scheming for a way to escape the planet before they're pulled under the waves.
Okay, pretty clear.
So that one's much clearer. And I think that it's trying to tell us that there's still these two parallel stories going on. So it's almost like trying to think of a good example where you've got these two stories running, and at some point they're probably going to cross paths. The third issue of this 4-issue miniseries features two dreams, the first illustrated by Edgar Salazar and the second by Roland Kalninas.
Oh, yeah.
With covers.
Rollins,
What's that?
Rollins,
you know Rollins?
Yeah, he's awesome.
And covers by Jose Garcia and Rollins. It's comic written for fans of love stories, dreampunk, steampunk, and cyberpunk. I've never heard of dreampunk. Have you?
No, I think he's having fun with the play on words.
Oh, okay.
You know. I think what he's doing
Which
is
is fine. I was just making sure I wasn't missing out on something.
No, I think it's a mix between the dream and the cyberpunk. Those two worlds, he put them together to call it dreampunk. That's what I'm assuming.
So yeah, then down here we've got the same sort of setup in the fantasy dream, in the cyberpunk future dream, and he kind of continues that. And then we have some previews of the artwork. I think it would have helped because this is showing us two different dream sequences. I think it would have helped if right here under the preview he would have said, you know, this realm or that realm, like which realm am I looking at? Because right here I see a lot of robes, a lot of cool effects. They're chained. I got to make some assumptions here. Don't really know. And then on this one, though, it's a little bit more clear. I definitely see aliens. So obviously this is the other one.
I love that art, actually.
Dead Cosmos says, Dreampunk is like the movie Paprika or Inception. All right. Or even The Cell. I got it.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, they do that stuff in lots of different movies. I mean, Christopher Nolan does that quite a bit. They did it in Blade Runner. I mean, at the very end, you know, I mean, there's like, is he an android? I think, you know, it's okay to not answer those things right away and let us read it. Let us read it, figure it out a little bit.
Yeah, I think when it by the way, the pitching that I learned and where I learned to talk about pitching is when I used to do storyboarding for films and video games and television. It was all about, you know, you get that 30 seconds with an executive on a you know, an elevator. How do you pitch it to them? And, you know, that's where this idea came from. It's like, you got to give them first and foremost, like the basic core, you know, emotional hook and hook them emotionally or hook them with something super exciting. Of course, with producers, what also comes into play is money. How much is it going to cost to make this movie compared to your idea? That's one of the challenges with Mythica, actually, is that, like, in order to make that into a film or show, you're talking about something that takes place in World War I. So you have a lot of set design and costume design and special effects. And then they're also fighting demons and monsters. So you have more special effects. So it would be a costly show. And that's the first thing out of their mouths is like, in order to make this, we got to make sure that it's going to make money, you know? But yeah, I like this art.
It's beautiful. It looks, reminds me of Alex Maleev a lot.
And I have seen this font before, Aaron. As a graphic designer, I've seen this font many times. I just can't remember what it's called. And then there's a bunch more information here. Let's go ahead and. Did you miss issue 1 or 2? Don't worry, you're covered with many covers.
No, I'm sorry, I got to say it right away. That should have been up way higher.
I agree. And
I don't want to know about the covers. Did you miss it? Give me some panels. Give me a synopsis. Yeah. Introduce me to this man, Jason Byron. You've mentioned his name 3 times, but who is this guy? Why should I care about him?
Right. You got it.
In issue 1, just put it up on top, just up there on the top, just like, did you miss issue 1 or 2? Let's catch you up.
Yeah.
And then you come back to your different covers later on. Don't use the covers.
Yeah.
I don't.
All right. Let's take a look over at the rewards. We've got In Our Dreams Awake #3 digital for $5. It includes 24 pages of dream punk fantasy. Then we have #3 PDF and physical for $10. So I always like to see when they add the digital with the physical. It's a nice way of making the reward feel more valuable.
Yeah,
more
all of us should be doing the,
Let's see. Then In Our Dreams Awake #1, 2, and 3 digital. This is what I was looking in the last campaign, is like a reward that had all of the issues that I need in one digital bundle.
Sure.
And so that's what this one is for $12. That's a good deal. All the PDFs. Now, what's different here? It says 1, 2, 3, catch up with both issues, the steampunk graphic novel, The Gilded Age, and the Dreamer RPG zine. Books I'm not familiar with, but you can get all of them. And then we have variant covers. We have all the covers. Let's go to the bottom. And our big whale tier, get drawn into the comic for $200. Get drawn into issue 4 because issue 3 is done. It says that somewhere up right around here. Oh yeah, right here where I highlighted it. So you can't be in this book, you'd be in the next book. You get drawn by Rollins. You get the standard cover of In Our Dreams #2, the variant cover of In Our Dreams #2, the magazines, the Gilded Age graphic novel, the PDF of #2. I'm a little confused about
why not number
why
1?
I'm not getting 1 and 3.
I know. Wait, I'm just getting issue 2. I haven't even read #1, and I love Roland's work, and I would, and that draws me in. I'm like, oh, I love Roland's work, and that'd be fun to be drawn by Roland. But then don't include the other stuff, because then you make me think, why only #2?
Yeah, it's got 3 different variants of issue 2. The magazine thing that he's created, the Gilded Age graphic novel, but no mention of #1 or #3, which is what this issue, what this campaign is about.
I mean,
that's
honestly,
a strange one.
I would just go and fix that. Plenty of time and just
yeah. If you're listening, I would definitely include, at least a PDF of the other issues. But honestly,
all those variants, or I don't care about that. I want to be drawn to the comic. #3 should be a given, not even like a conversation.
And here's something else. I don't mean to cut you off, Gerald, but I've seen the drawn into comic tier a lot. I love it. But I do feel like you should specify. In this day and age, people are getting scammed all the time. So I feel like you should specify. When issue 4 comes out, you're going to get that too.
Yeah.
Because why would I pay to be in a book that I have to pay again to get?
100%. 100%. I 100% agree.
And, I think in some cases it's implied, but if you're making your tier like that, just add a sentence in there that says you're going to get this when it comes out, however many months from now it takes to get done. You're going to be the first one to get it.
I would also take out all those variants, get drawn in the comic, get issues 1 through 4. I'm in.
Yep.
I'm in.
Yeah. All right. So no one's grabbed that one yet. He's got a $60 tier that has In Our Dreams Awake 1, 2, 3, all of the variants of all the 3 covers for $60. It looks like about 6 or so covers. So that's a pretty good deal. And then a catch up, get 1, 2, and 3. Basically, 1 copy of each one of those for $25. He does have a couple of backers on that one. So I think that some clarity on this one could help. All in all, it's got great art. I think the concept is cool as far as the 2 dream worlds going, but like some clarity about like what's the premise here? Like, what's he after? What are the aliens after? Like, how did they win? What did they win?
I think it comes back to what you said before, Matt, was make every campaign as if we're all seeing it for the first time ever.
Yeah. Now,
a lot of that.
Brian, I do recommend that, I agree with you that Brian Wolf, that like, if your book's not finished, it's always better to like, see if you can get them into the current book. What I'm doing right now is as I'm working on a project, I look at the spots where I have extras and I just like kind of sketch in a loose area for that being my guess, and then continue on drawing the rest of the comic. And then when it comes time for the campaign, I'm like, hey, this is your opportunity right here and right here. And it only takes me, a small amount of time to quickly sketch that in and be done,
Well, and Frank and I are offering that we're doing a little bit different in Love and Death on the Dark Side of the Moon. We've decided just drawing someone in the comic for me, is just kind of boring. Just using their likeness to raise a few extra dollars. What we're offering is you become a pivotal character in the book.
Oh, cool.
So not get drawn into the book, you get drawn into the universe. So whenever that character is ever used, it's you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to try that on for size.
Well, that's our second one. So that brings us to our third one. Let's see who the final one's going to be. Yes, we're flying through them. All right, time for our final spin of the Wheel of Destiny. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's right on the edge. Is it going to switch? Nope. Looks like a comic called Laugh Riot. Now, of all the comics that are on this wheel this week, I hadn't heard of any of our 3 chosen ones.
Me either.
All right, let's copy and paste this. So that's what I love about indie comics, though. There's people who are returning and people who are just getting started. And that brings me to a small little point that I'd like to make. But first, let's go ahead and hear from our sponsor, Gemini Comics. Let's talk about fulfillment for a second. You've worked your butt off to get your comic made and crowdfund your book. Now you're faced with sorting, packing, labeling, shipping, and tracking potentially hundreds of backers. Fulfillment can make or break your indie comic campaign. It can be downright overwhelming, especially if you're a one-person operation. That's why we're excited to share that our new sponsor, Gemini Mailers, now offers full-service fulfillment designed specifically for independent comic creators. They're offering fulfillment starting at just $2.50 per order, including Gemini's premium mailers shipping at cost. No markup storage, no monthly minimums, so you can ship in waves if you want. They even have custom packaging options like shrink wrap, filler pads, and more. These guys get it because they've been mailing our comics for years. And now they've built a warehouse operation that's already helping creators like us fulfill campaigns smoothly. So if your next campaign feels like it's going to bury you in boxes, be sure to check out GeminiComicSupply.com. This isn't just shipping, it's peace of mind. All right. Thank you for that.
I always
brief
like
mention.
Matt's commercial.
Oh, I gotta tell you, I dreaded doing that. It feels weird, but Gemini was very excited to be a part of this show, and wanted to reach out to all these indie creators and say, "Hey, look, we got this new service," but they didn't have any B-roll. I was asking them for like footage of like packaging stuff up in the shop, and I was just like, I got to do something. And so I just like recorded myself, and I'm kind of waiting to do a new one as soon as I can. But one of the things I want to mention before we go in our final one, we're going to do this quick, is that one of the things I love about this community is that each one of us are at different places. Some people are just getting started, kind of like the person we just saw. Some people have a lot more experience. But together we rise faster. We turn around and say, hey, this is the one thing I know and the one thing I learned. Let me share it with you. And that's what this show is all about, sharing the things that we've learned, passing things on so that you don't make the same mistakes. And if you'd like to get your campaign looked at before you launch, go up to this QR code and go to the site and Action Line Studios, and you'll see our comic crowdfunding review service. It's like $25 to $30, and I do a full breakdown of your campaign, pointing out the positives and the negatives and things that could improve your backer count, get more eyeballs, like we're talking about today. Maybe your campaign is just too geared towards your previous backers and not geared strongly enough to the new backers. Something we can catch, and hopefully before you launch. All right. So with that, let's go to our third and final entry before Gerald has to take off here. It is called Laugh Riot. Hold on, it wants me to refresh that one. There we go. All right. It's called Laugh Riot #1, a comic book about anarchy and play. Laugh Riot #1 is a 24-page comic book by writer Lewis Southard, the XO Man of War and Flash Gordon writer, and artist Devlin Baker from The Stranger. It had a $1,000 goal. It's been funded. They're at 1138 with 20 days to go and 65 backers. So, what would you think a comic about anarchy and play is about?
I wouldn't even know where to start.
There's so many directions that could go, huh?
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, I am curious to see what that means.
Yeah,
because I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, let's find out. There's not a video here, so maybe it'll tell us down below. They are using the jump points here. You can see. Whoop, that made it way too small. Let's go.
Well, that's good.
That'll work for now. You can see they're using the jump points on the left. And the story says, launching a stronger, more loving world. Laugh Riot #1 is a 24-page comic book that can only be described as Looney Tunes versus 1984. When my mind is like twisting in knots trying to figure out what that means.
Yeah.
It's an anti-fascist thrill ride of Japes, Japes. I don't know that word. Play and good old-fashioned ultra-violence. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a quick.
We're gonna have to Google that.
Quick search. It says Jape, a practical joke, to do something in jest or mockery. All right, we learned something new today. All right. This is Lewis Southard's first Kickstarter campaign. I love this cover art. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very painterly looking. All right, here we've got some information. There's quite a bit of it. I would have broken this up a little bit, but it says, in the fictional dystopia of Usonia, Thaddeus K. Gander has been the president for nearly 40 years. His private military, the Dove Corps, march the streets and protect the country from any threats to their regime. Gander is part of every facet to life, from politics, news, business, sex, child rearing, and more. Everything is Gander. Then one day, a strange little gesture changes the world forever. This is the story of Mary Andrew. All right. Then we have some credits, a bunch of different artists and variant cover artists.
Buddy's work, I know. The letter.
Which one? Oh, Buddy. How do you say his last name? Baudouin?
Baudouin. I say Baudouin, but I don't know.
Baudouin. Is it French?
It would be. I'm not sure if he's French or French Canadian or positive.
All right. It says this book is 100% done. We only need your help to print and ship. If you like V for Vendetta and/or Image's Ice Cream Man, the works of Harlan Ellison, conspiracy theories, and a lot of other cool stuff, then this book is the book you've been waiting for. Let's take a look at the art of Laugh Riot #1. President Gander, sketches of our character Mary Andrew, the Dove Corps. There's our interior art. Okay, taking a look here. I think I like the style. It's working.
Yeah.
All right. And then we got some variant covers here. And then we have the team, a big list of the team. So that's about all we get as far as what this comic is about. Gerald, what do you think?
Again, I don't always want a video. I don't care. But for this one, I would have liked to have seen one. I would have liked to have seen a video because there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. We're just giving it a little bit of, and I think the sketches are cool, but that's not what I'm going to see in the book. I don't want that to be the first art that I see. I get a sense of the artist's style, but I want then bring me right to the interior pages, not the sketches. Save them for the end. Like maybe you're going to include those in the book, or, kind of you want to get more personal. Save it for the people who really like to scroll, but there's no video. There's some really great description stuff. Sounds like I got a pretty great team. Cover is cool, but show me the inside of the book because that cover and the interior are totally different. So putting them together, juxtaposed, and you could have put some of that text after, not all of it, but just a little bit after some preview pages, and then show your sketches. You could use some of that artwork to just break up the text a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the interiors, it looks great. I was just like, why am I looking at sketches right now? Sorry, but that's just where my mind first went, was like, why am I looking at that? Like,
so you'd rather, we want to see the interiors first. We want to see what the story is about.
I love sketches. I'm an artist. I love that stuff, but I'm here to look at the book. That's just what, if I'm going to back a book, and #1, I just want to show me those interiors, man. Show those interiors right away, because there are very visual people like myself, and that will make or break whether I back a book.
Right. So, again, I think that a couple of things, #1, I think this is focusing on the premise. It's what kind of story this is, what kind of genre it is. And then they set up the premise with the the president who's running things, and then we have this jester person walking in. But I don't really know like anything else. I don't know what this jester person is trying to do. They just said changes the world forever. Is that if that's all we got? Is that enough of a hook for you guys to say, "Oh, I'm in"?
For me, no.
What would
when we saw the interior art, it looked like he was doing something, but that's not the first thing I see. What I kept scrolling. When it says this is the story of Mary Andrew, I have no idea why it just stops right there. I'm like, and I'm just I'm picking stream of consciousness. I'm not picking it apart. I'm just, as someone who backs books.
No, you're a consumer. Yeah,
I would be like, and give. I mean, okay, right. You mentioned V for Vendetta, the interior pages, the last page gives me a little piece of that. It doesn't need much of 3 sentences, We talk about it a lot in comics, right? Like, what are the stakes? What's the story here? You said you got premise, and I have no idea what really the story's about.
Exactly. Like, what's this person trying to do? Is he trying to topple the president or whatever? I also think like if I was trying to find where it said it, but at the top here, like I think it's also always a risk when you lead your comic with a political message. You're going to automatically alienate some people, and your story could be great. So it says this is an anti-fascist thrill ride. Especially with today's political climate, there's probably a good chunk of people who are just going to say, I'm not interested. That's some leftist bullshit, And
well, it may be purposeful. I mean, maybe, Lewis is like, I don't care and I don't want fascists to read it.
Right. That could be too. Like it's a risk for sure. I'm just saying, like, if your comic is focused on that thing, that's the big message, then push it. Say, this is what, lead with that. This is what it is. But if your comic is more of just about this awesome story, but there is an underlying message behind it, then maybe you can like get that message across to some people on the other side by hooking them with the cool story parts, and they're like, oh, because I've seen that happen where people are like, oh wow, I really like that, and then you're like, they were saying that fascism is bad, and you're like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. But I mean, it happens.
Do we live in a world now, Matt, where we actually have to say fascism is bad? Oh my.
Apparently we do. Apparently we do.
Oh.
All right, man. This is going to be a tough call today, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the part of our show where we have to choose one of these campaigns to back, and our choices are the Thrill Comics double feature that had 2 different comics to choose from. And then we had In Our Dreams Awake, a story of 2 different dreams. And then we had this new one, Laugh Riot. Each one of them has some positives. I feel like all of them had some pretty cool looking art.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, there's parts, again, I love Roland's art. I haven't seen his art for that book. I mean, that definitely goes on my pile to take a look at later.
So the question is, which one do you feel like is going to be the one that gives us more incentive to back this book? Put your thoughts in the comments below. Man, this one is tough for me.
It's a tough one too, because I feel like there's great things about all of them, and there's little tweaks that can make them even better,
yeah.
But I think your show is very helpful. Like, it's not just about is it a great book or great art. It's not judgmental. It's just constructive criticism and what makes. It's more about almost like the campaign. It's really about the campaign and not just what you like.
Yeah, it's how it's being pitched to us, how it's being delivered to us. Are you talking to me, the consumer who doesn't know anything about your book, or are you talking to your return customers? Oops. Man, I'm gonna have to make a call here. I'm struggling here.
I mean, I already know, but it was still a struggle.
Let's see. I think. All right.
I'm just glad. I'm sorry, Aaron. Ice and Bone is not on here, but I'm also glad because I did a cover for it, so I'm a little biased. I was like, please don't get.
Well, there's a campaign on this wheel today that I've done a cover for as well. So give them a shout out. Give them a shout out before we vote. Go check out Ice and Bone. Also, go check out the cover of the book that I did. It's called The Heartless Bastards.
Yeah, I heard of it.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Are you ready, sir?
No.
Me either, but we're going to go anyway.
I'm not ready. We're
going to do it anyway.
I had a draw on my
drum roll. 1, 2, 3. Oh! That's what that means. That means we got to go to the wheel.
All right. It's on my list. I would probably back that book because I feel like the campaign could be better, but the book sounds interesting.
Yes. Give me just a second. I want to be sure and save my my wheel list for next week because a lot of these campaigns are still going to be there. There we go. Got that saved.
I'll tell you why.
I take it away. So we got 2 of them. Laugh Riot.
Because I feel like Laugh Riot.
Go ahead, please do.
I have to think so hard. I kind of know what I'm getting into. I wish there was more after that description of Mary Andrew, maybe a quick video, but I really love the art. I felt like I didn't have to guess what was. I'm being introduced to a world that I could jump in on, and the art is really good.
Well, you are not alone. Benjamin said the same thing. He said he'd get Laugh Riot, but we had a split decision. It happens sometimes here on the Comic Book Showdown. So let's take it to the Wheel of Destiny. Let's go over here. We've got them both pulled up, and let's see who our winner this week is gonna be. Looks like winner, chicken dinner. In Our Dreams Awake is the one that gets her back just by the skin of its teeth. For those of you watching, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting, and thank you for your submissions. Man, we had a lot of submissions this week. Go ahead, Gerald.
If you don't know Roland's, artwork, he is really great. He's in the sort of an indie artist that I don't think he'll be indie for too long. He's a great artist, so check out that book.
Yes, indeed. So many books to check out. That's why I love the indie comics community. And speaking of, if you'd like to check out my book at actionlinestudios.com, there are 9 issues of Mythica. My first art book is there. I am working on a new art book and a new issue of Mythica at the same time.
And you're killing it over there in Indie-tober, too.
And dropping all kinds of sketches on Indie-tober. Speaking of which, today is Matt Knowles' character book. I just spaced the name of it. Matt, if you're still on here, give me a shout out of the name of your book that we're doing today, because I'm going to draw it right after this. But then tomorrow is Mythica's turn. So this is your opportunity to sketch Mythica characters. I've also just recently posted some reference for everybody. But this is a great thing that Travis Gibb has put together. I'm pretty sure Travis started this. where everybody submits their indie comics. He kind of shuffles them through and puts them into a 31-day list for the October, and then each day we're just drawing characters from these indie comics and getting a lot of exposure and a deeper look at other people's characters. Like,
I wish I
there
could
were
do it. This year, I'm too busy.
I hear you. I haven't been able to do it every day, not like I used to be able to do.
No,
I got
but you
I got things to do as well.
I see your sketches. I don't know, Matt. I've seen sketches and then there's art. Matt's making art. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate you. So Benjamin wants to know, where does one see these Indie-tober sketches? If you go to Facebook and you just search Indie-tober, there's a group called Indie-tober. A lot of us has been using the hashtag both on our posts. I know when I post on Instagram, I use the hashtag Indie-tober, so you can find them on there. I don't know if everyone's using those though. But the Indie-tober group is probably the best. The second best place is on the Discord channel, which you can find by getting a hold of Travis Gibb. He's got a rather active Discord, but I think it's only a few people added each month, so you kind of got to reach out to him.
Yeah, 10 creators per month.
Yeah, it's an exclusive club of indie creators.
Yeah, I quit Discord, so
this is the third time I've tried Discord, and I'm actually getting some traction this time.
Oh, I love Discord. I just, again, I have a lot of art to make from now until like August of next year.
And it's popping up on your phone, distracting you very easily.
And it's me. It's not that Discord is bad or these groups are this. It's just that I have terrible attention deficit disorder.
Yes.
So turn it all off and do what we're supposed to be doing: making art, making comics.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
Self-care around that.
All right. Well, like I said, you can go get my comic at Action Line Studios. We thank everybody for watching. Be sure and tune in next Friday. Smurf will be back. And so thank you all. We'll see you next Friday.
Thanks for having me.